detailed and suspenseful Tom Clancy's espionage and military science thrillers will stand among America's captivating works. Interesting because over his whole life, this man was a staunch Republican. He really fell hard on the right side of the spectrum, and he was a lifelong member of the NRA, and he really, he wanted to show his love of military through the books. And it's interesting because he never served in the military and he wasn't in the Navy, but even people in politics have acknowledged that he was very astute when it came to the detailed writing. We had a chance to catch up with a Canadian author who shared some of his thoughts about this man that he says was his mentor, and we kind of wanted to talk to him about the fact that a lot of people pick up Tom Clancy, his books, at the airport, right? You know you're going to get on a long flight. That's the book you're going to take to keep you reading and turning those pages. But here's what he had to say about whether or not that's a guilty pleasure. Have a listen.
Clancy, despite the fact that he was a commercial writer, he had all of those literary values, an attention to storytelling, an attention to detail, an attention to characterization that you find in the best of literature. There's no guilt about enjoying his books at all.
No guilt at all. And what would you say would be some of the highlights of Tom Clancy's career?
It is so difficult to summarize because this is a man who has so many books under his belt and so many bestsellers, 17 or 18. Here you're looking at the man himself, Tom Clancy, died at a relatively young age, and he was really known for how much his books impacted other areas of popular culture. Film, of course, first and foremost. We talked a little bit about Alec Baldwin earlier. Well, he started in The Hunt for Red October. That was back in the 80s, and he was the CIA analyst, Jack Ryan. That kind of really launched that incredible character into the fore. Other movies like Patriot Games, you think of The Sum of All Fears, Clear and Present Danger. That character, by the way, did change over the years because other people played that character. Harrison Ford, for example, even Ben Affleck. And so that's on the movie side of the spectrum. And then you also have these video games based on a lot of his works. One of the most popular being Ghost Recon. It's really interesting because Michael Bay is actually going to, this is Michael Bay, by the way, the director behind Bad Boys, big blockbuster kinds of action films. Michael Bay is going to be directing a film based on this video game. It's the first time he'll have, a movie on that video game. And you know what, we have one last book to look forward to. It's coming out in December, and that is called Command Authority. So, he has left us with one more great read.
Thank you, Yelena.
You got it.
The finalists have been announced for one of Canada's top literary prizes, the Governor-General's Awards. One of the most closely followed categories is English fiction, so up for the $25,000 prize. The Luminaries by Canadian Man Booker Prize contender Eleanor Catton. Scotiabank Giller Prize-winning author Joseph Boyden is up for his book The Orenda. Shyam Selvadurai is in the running for The Hungry Ghosts. And Colin McAdam makes the list with A Beautiful Truth. Earlier today, CBC News Network showed the incorrect cover, and of course the show apologizes for that error. Also rounding out the pack is Kenneth Bonnert with his book The Lion Seeker. Winners in 7 categories in both English and French will be announced November 13th.